So, Maestro, big concert coming up with Shostakovich 8 and Mozart's 22nd Piano Concerto.
Yeah, first I'm bringing an old friend of mine, Michel Delberto, the French pianist who I love a lot. I mean, he's a fantastic musician and a great artist, pretty well known on the European market, and someone who was very famous in his recordings. Liszt, Ravel, of course. I mean, he's a big specialist on Gaspard de la Nuit. A wonderful artist. I've, as I said, performed a lot in France, but also in Australia. And he's playing a very interesting concerto. It's the concerto number 22, which is interesting because the dialogue with the orchestra here is very intimate. We have fantastic woodwind solos, especially in the slow movement. It's like a big variation, and it will show the activity between the solo piano and the woodwinds and the orchestra. So it's a fantastic piece, very cheerful, very playful. In sharp contrast, I think, to the second half, which is Shostakovich Symphony number 8. Written in 1943, you might imagine what the sense of this piece will be. It won't be such a cheerful piece because it wasn't a very cheerful time in Russia. I mean, it was just in the middle of Stalingrad happening. The war was really hitting Russia in a bad way. Let's not forget, 20 million people died in Russia during that time. So this piece talks a lot about pain. It's a very deep pain you feel in this piece, and it's a very deep piece and very moving, very reflective in some parts. And there are playful parts, but they are a little bit sometimes grotesque. It's one of the most interesting Shostakovich symphonies and one of the most powerful ones, with 5 movements, so it's on the longer side. Shows off the orchestra. I mean, there are big solos for every single instrument. One is the English horn, one of the most famous solos, but all the bass clarinet, the piccolo, and of course the standard solos. But as I said, it's a very interesting and very deep and moving piece.
Was this symphony affected by Stalin's critiques at all? I know some of his works, he felt like political pressure was enormous.
Political pressure was enormous. At this time, I think everybody was occupied with other things. It's dedicated to Yevgeny Mavrinsky, the chief conductor of the St. Petersburg, or the Leningrad Philharmonic, as we would know it at the time, and it was today the St. Petersburg Philharmonic. So one of the most important Russian conductors, and it's also a dedication to that friendship between Shostakovich and him.
Well, it's going to be very exciting. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be extremely exciting, and I think one of those concerts not to miss. So we're finishing the season very big, with a big message.